Well, the Trump campaign putting the brakes on Bloomberg news reporters after the organization vowed not to investigate 2020 hopeful Michael Bloomberg or his Democratic rivals. Trump campaign manager Brad Parscale says, quote, since they have declared their bias openly, the Trump campaign will no longer credential representatives of Bloomberg News for rallies or other campaign events. We will determine whether to engage with individual reporters or answer inquiries from Bloomberg News on a case-by-case basis. Fox News contributor and Independent Women's Voice president Tammy Bruce joins us now.
Good morning.
Good morning, Tammy. What do you think about this? Is it healthy to do this, to ban reporters from the rallies?
Well, they're effectively banning themselves from the Democratic coverage. Right? They've said that they will not cover Mike Bloomberg. They will not investigate him. And as a result, to be fair to the other Democrats, they won't investigate them either. But this is, again, public statement, a statement to their employees that though they will still continue to cover the president. And inevitably, of course, that means they'll also cover Republicans. So they've banned themselves from being taken seriously. They've banned themselves from being a legitimate news organization because there's an answer to this. Either you cover no one and you don't do presidential politics, or you cover everyone. There was a last time when he was thinking about running in 2016, one of his reporters quit because this attitude was memo was circulating, and she has said recently, I believe on Twitter, that you should be able to withstand your own stable of reporters asking questions, and that's part of what the presidential primaries are about. Having the people know who you are, being able to answer questions. If you can't handle your own organization inquiring about you and investigating, how can you handle the presidency?
Has this ever happened before? Has anyone ever run for president when they own a network?
Now, see, that's a unique dynamic. Now, he also noted that he's stepping away from that, right? That implies that then you don't want to influence that work.
Right.
And yet they still are. They're still then saying, all right, we're not going to touch you. So what's the point of stepping away unless he knows that it's important for him to be seen as an independent individual? This, for a news organization, and this is what the president's been talking about, by not going and interviewing and investigating the Democrats in the entire field, but doing so on one side, you're removing half of the information that's important for the decision making.
Right.
It's not just, investigating Trump. It's comparing then policies, asking questions, investigating the other side as well, so the American people have a good idea of what's going on in the country.
Bloomberg's editor-in-chief did release a statement. The accusation of bias couldn't be further from the truth. We have covered Donald Trump fairly and in an unbiased way since he became a candidate in 2015, and will continue to do so despite the restrictions imposed by the Trump campaign.
Well, the reality is that you can't cover Trump fairly when you are eliminating his opposition and won't talk with them. You're taking out half of the entire equation. It's like saying you're going to be able to figure out this problem and eliminating half of the numbers. That's ridiculous. But also keep in mind, this in some way is symbolic. These events and the rallies, of course, are televised. The only thing these individuals, these reporters would be missing is access on the ground to people attending. And I think, though, that it's also important because it's reminding the American people that this has happened, because the legacy media, of course, will throw it into a memory hole and will forget that the media is, in fact, acting in a deliberately, publicly biased way.
And then I wonder if Michael Bloomberg does exit the race. He's not tracking very well right now, at least. Things can change. Once he gets out of the race, if he ever does, and doesn't make it to the end, then I wonder if would they continue to cover the Democrats at that point?
Well, they said that they'll reassess it. But the fact is, people do better when they're not covered because they don't hear information about them.
Right,
and maybe that's what he's hoping for.
Okay.
I don't know.
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
All right, you got